Rocket Fist! Wow! Wow! Hello, viewers of the internet. Welcome back to another episode of Sonic Adventure. It's been a while. Sorry about the wait, guys. Been busy with a new job, working at Bell Canada, and all the things that go on with that, but we are back. We are back with an episode starting with Knuchles. We finished Tails' story last time, and now we're on to Knuchles. If you noticed, things are a little different. You are actually right. Why do I say that? Because I'm not actually playing the game right now. I've played the game previously, and now I am just watching the footage with you and talking over it. Why did I do it this way? Two reasons. One, I wanted to try out this style because I know a lot of other gaming channels do it this way, and I also was thinking this would be a little more difficult than it actually turned out to be. As we'll see in a moment, Knuchles' style of play is very different than the other ones. And I thought maybe I'd want to use my complete focus to try and complete the levels as fast as I can, because Knuchles levels can be a slog. But I found out it actually wasn't that bad. So there probably wasn't any reason to do this, but regardless, this is what we're doing. Knuchles is on an extreme slope there. They couldn't animate his neck bending and his head looking up, so they just turned his whole entire body. That's what you get when you play a game made in like 2002. Actually, was it made in 2002? No, it was actually made before. It was like 98 or something like that, because Sonic Adventure 2 was 2001 for the 10th anniversary. But anyways, we start off Knuchles' story on like Sonic and Tails' story, which are very similar to each other, to the point where Tails' story really doesn't have any point to it. Knuchles is very different. We start with him on his home island, Angel Island, where he is guarding it, as Knuchles tends to do. For those of you who don't know Knuchles' lore, he is an Echidna, the only Echidna, and he is the guardian of the Master Emerald, which is this super jewel that controls the Chaos Emeralds. Whenever the Master Emerald is stolen or loses its power, however, Angel Island drops to the sea. Normally it's floating. So that's basically what has happened here. The Master Emerald is shattered. Knuchles turns around and Chaos is standing there. We are to assume that he shattered it. And we also see that glowy ball float away. So again, I like to touch how the tutorial orb actually has significance to the story. So Knuchles' first level is Speed Highway, and we don't enter it through the cargo area like with Sonic and Tails. We actually go through Town Hall, which is funny enough, that's the place Sonic leaves Speed Highway. So Knuchles' levels, as you can see, is a hot and cold game. The closer you get to the pieces of the Master Emerald, his little radar will go off. And you have 3 of them, and you can basically play hot and cold with all 3 pieces at the same time, which is something they changed in Sonic Adventure 2, but we'll get there when we get there. Knuchles' levels is not really point to point, but more open world, as you can see. Being that he can climb walls and glide, it gives him a lot more mobility options. Now, Knuchles has been a playable character in a game before, mainly Sonic Adventure, or Sonic 3 and Knuckles, or Sonic and Knuckles, where he was, in that game, he was able to glide and climb walls as well. So, I keep getting hit by a car here. Oh, and then the cop ran me over. But anyways, yeah, so transitioning Knuckles over to 3D wasn't too hard. Like Tails where they had, unlike Tails where they had to change some of how his flying mechanic worked, they don't really. Here, the only thing different is they do give him a punch. Because he doesn't get a homing attack like Sonic, he does, they do give him an attack option, which is his punches like that. So anyways, yeah. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles have all been playable characters so far. Our next character, which is Amy, is going to be, that's going to be the first time we ever play as Amy. Not the first time we see Amy, but the first time we play as her. And as you can see, the pieces can even be inside of enemies. So there's 3 pieces for every level. One thing that Sonic Adventure 2 does, again, really neat, as we'll see when we get there, is you're not always looking for Master Emerald pieces, which is kind of cool. Again, I really like Sonic Adventure 2 because I felt like it built upon the foundation of Sonic Adventure 1. The only thing I will say though is I do believe Knuckles' theme song is better in Sonic Adventure 1 than it is in Sonic Adventure 2. But that's only because I can actually only remember Sonic Adventure 1's theme song for Knuckles.
No trains are currently in service.
But anyways, to get into Casinopolis, we can't fly or glide on the rings, so you gotta glide from the billboard over there. And so we're in Casinopolis. Now, Casinopolis is Knuckles' version of it is really cool because with Knuckles' climbing ability, you can actually get way up above there. I'll show a little bit of that off. Unfortunately, I actually find all pieces really quick. And oh, here's a pause. So, as we'll see a couple times in this video, I had to pause because I don't know what it was with this session. There was just a million people trying to get a hold of me that day. But anyways, if you notice though, during the pause menu, you can actually hear the background noises of the casino. So apparently the pause doesn't actually pause those sounds. I don't know if that's just the DX or the Steam port that does that, or if the original version has that problem too. So anyways, you punch the crack in the Sonic statue and the whole statue comes down. Almost every time I play through this game, there's always an emerald in that statue. I think it's just mandatory. People just, the game developers just really wanted Knuckles to smash that statue. But you guys smash that like button if you like what you see. No, but seriously, yeah, here's the last piece of the Master Emerald, and I run away from it because I'm like, dang, it is like not even a minute and a half. I want to at least show off the rest of this place. And there's this whole area you can explore, but it does feel kind of empty since, you know, there's no actual pieces up here. So I go back, or will I soon go back? But anyways, yeah. We're already done the second stage of Knuckles. It's not a long playthrough. And yeah, this game doesn't really have a ranking system either, so there's no point trying to get a super good time bonus. But anyways, Knuckles, it's Knuckles' turn to have a fever dream. And Knuckles actually makes sense. Tails, not really. He's not really part of the overall story that's going on. Big gets a fever dream too, and we'll see Big is completely useless in this game. But Knuckles makes sense, but unfortunately they don't really seize the opportunity either. Because as we'll see here, Knuckles has ended up in Echidna land. There is Echidnas everywhere, and like I said, Knuckles is the last Echidna. So why is Knuckles not like super excited here to actually meet people of his own kind? So we come over here, and we get a scene with this girl Tikal, and a guy we can only assume is her father, who we also can assume is the... Actually, I think she calls him father, but anyways, he's the chief of the Echidna tribe, and, you know, insert cliche, we must use the Chaos Emeralds to you know, protect ourselves. Conquering the world is the only way we can protect ourselves and protect you. And then, you know, the daughter like, no, don't go to war. War is bad. So, you know, it's not a revolutionary story, but it's definitely, I think they did well with what they had. Oh, and there's Cream again. And there's those two, and Knuckles. Okay, Sonic, you're twitching weird. But anyways, Knuckles finds these two guys passing on the street, and, you know, rather than do the noble thing and, you know, maybe pull them off the side of the road, put them somewhere safe, he leaves them. But anyways, Knuckles just happens to go into this hotel, and here's Dr. Eggman, and he's carrying something shiny, which Knuckles, in his one-track mind, believes it's a fragment of the Master Emerald. And so there are two elevators here. That first one goes to the Chow Garden, which I will never go to in this game. Chow Garden just is kind of stinky in this game. The second elevator takes you here, which, by the way, for those of you who do not know, is the only time you'll ever be here. Knuckles is the only one who ever has a boss fight here, and this is the only time you can ever come here as Knuckles. So it's kind of like a completely original set piece. So here's Chaos, and if you remember, this is Chaos 1. So we've seen when Chaos turned into Chaos 1, but the next time we've seen him as Sonic and Tails, he was already Chaos 2. This is actually when we get to see Chaos turn into Chaos 2, which I think is really cool. Also, that Chaos Emerald kind of went through him. Also, how did Knuckles figure a clear Chaos Emerald look like a piece of the green Master Emerald? But whatever. So anyways, I don't know. Also, why is Dr. Eggman in this fancy marble-floored dining room? Like, why was this the meeting spot of him and Chaos? I guess Eggman just wanted to be fancy. That's all.
Good evening, sir. Table for one, please.
Sorry, but the whole restaurant has been rented to a private party.
But it's my only night to be fancy. Oh, who could afford to rent out the whole restaurant?
But anyways, this fight is not difficult. This is Knuckles' first boss fight, so you can't expect it to be difficult. He jumps around, he bounces around. Again, I love the cool little glowing lights for the Chaos Emeralds. I think that's a cool design idea. When Chaos is transforming, the Chaos Emeralds just fly around him. But anyways, I guess one thing we can talk about is I mentioned earlier the first game Knuckles showed up in was a game called Sonic and Knuckles, which is technically Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Oh, there's that pesky phone again. But he technically shows up in a game before that, which is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Or should I say, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Sega wanted to make Sonic the Hedgehog 3 even bigger than the last two. So how do you do that? You know, it was getting to the point where the cartridges were getting too limited for the game ideas that they were coming up with. And, you know, and graphics were improving and everything like that. Like Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is a really beautiful sprite game. Probably the best sprite work of the entire classic trilogy. But, you know, unlike CDs like PlayStation 1, where you could sell a game with multiple CDs, you couldn't do that with cartridges. So, what were they to do if they were to make a game bigger and better than the previous two? Well, their solution was, why don't we have two games that combine into one? But didn't I just say that you couldn't do that like this? Well, no, you actually combined them together. Oh yeah, and also here's a really slow walking animation of Knuckles, of him pondering his life. I don't know why this scene is here, but anyways, and then Eggman is just gone. But anyways, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles can actually combine together to become one big game called Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where you can play all three characters Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. In Sonic 3, you can only play Sonic and Tails. In Sonic and Knuckles, you can play Sonic and Knuckles. Also, Sonic 3 has save states, Sonic and Knuckles doesn't. But when combined together, the whole entire game has a save state, which is cool too. So basically, you play through the entire game of Sonic 3, but then when you beat, you know, the levels in that version, you just continue on in Sonic and Knuckles levels. Oh yeah, and there's the Chow Garden for Mystic. Every hub world has its own. I think I've said that before. Every hub world has its own thing. So we can't get out of here because the door is locked. So now we pick up our first and no, sorry, I'm blank on words. Mandatory. Our first mandatory upgrade, which is the shovel claws, which actually showed up in the Sonic X anime. Sonic X anime was weird. They decided to make Sonic's shovel claws upgrade an actual plot point, which was very weird. It was the only upgrade that I think actually showed up on show. But anyways, we dig there. I was trying to figure out how to dig. So it works a little different than Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2 again makes it better. But yeah, we pick up that thing and then we place it onto the monkey and it blows the monkey up. Again, how do you know to come here? You don't. Again, I'm making this look all super easy. You can probably tutorial hint it too, and it will point you in the right direction. I thought maybe I needed to pick up another one. I didn't realize I could use the same one. But yeah, as a kid, I explored everywhere around here. I was trying to get to places I probably shouldn't have been getting to at that point, trying to figure out how I could scale up those walls and get out of this hub world. You know, so a lot of this again is just muscle memory. I know where to go most of the time. But this is something, if you play the game yourself, you just have to explore yourself and figure out where to go. Basically, the idea is, as you explore the world, you come over here and you find the monkey in the cage. And we don't have a light attack like Sonic, so you have to find something that will help you destroy the monkey, which takes you over to the other side of Mystic Ruin. So this is our third stage, Red Mountain, and Knuckles' portion of the stage is in the outside area. Sometime I would like to do Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I would just do the game combined together because that's the best way to play that game. You can't just play them separately. You have to play them together. It was the only game too to introduce the Super Emeralds. So you had to complete bonus games in order to collect the Chaos Emeralds. But after you collected the Chaos Emeralds and got the ability to turn into Super Sonic, you actually had a chance to play the bonus rounds again in order to unlock the Super Emeralds, which allowed you to turn into Hypersonic, which basically gave you the power to have a seizure, because Hypersonic actually flashes rainbow colors. Hypersonic has never showed up in another Sonic game again, although there's a lot of fan fiction that does use Hypersonic, like what's it called? Nezero Unleashed. There's a fan movie called Nezero Unleashed, and it's not bad as far as fan stories or films go. It's considered, I think, the best one, best fan story. But anyways, they were supposed to be making a sequel, but the guy who made the first one, he was supposed to be trying to make a sequel, and that was supposed to come out in 2019. I don't think it ever did come out, so I'm not sure. I also seen that the remake of Super Mario Bros. Z got a second episode this week. Super Mario Bros. Z is a Flash animated, or I shouldn't say Flash. It's I don't even know the proper term. I'm not a professional animator, but it uses sprite work, and it uses sprite work from different Mario games and Sonic games, because it's actually a Sonic and Mario crossover. I watched the original one. I won't say religiously, but I watched it a lot because the guy had some really well animated fight scenes, which are, as the title suggests, inspired from Dragon Ball Z, and it used a lot of the same sound effects too. And it was cool. It was a really cool concept for making Mario, Luigi, and Sonic and the other characters showing some fight scenes, right? I don't know. It was cool. It was a cool thing as a wee lad. But oh yeah, the tutorials will show you which direction to go. So it went there, so obviously that's where the emerald is. I was pretty lucky on that one. I don't know if there's a limit on how many hints you can use. The second game, Sonic Adventure 2, put a limit on it. But anyways, like I was saying, the guy never did actually finish the story, but he started a remake like 5 years ago. And he just came out with a second episode, so pretty soon the remake's going to have a remake. That kind of feels like Sonic or Final Fantasy VII. By the time that remake gets completed, they're going to be doing a remake for the remake. Apparently you can't glide upstairs either. So anyways, yep, the Master Emerald shattered. Now in the CG, in the special animated section, I don't know the terminology, but anyways, in the fancy video at the beginning when we seen the Angel Island fall, it looked a lot bigger. But apparently that's all Angel Island is. It's just basically a little rock with some ruins on it. But again, this is game before the 2000s. It's gonna have limitations. Anyways, we show up, and this is where Knuchles runs into these two goofballs. And he sees them with the Cast Emerald. Now this is convincing, because at least it's the same color. But again, this is where Knuchles gets his reputation for being an idiot, because unfortunately this is the second time he's been tricked by Eggman.
Hey, Knuchles.
Even though technically in the games he's only ever been tricked twice.
Whoa, what do you think
Sonic, what was I gonna? Yeah, Sonic 3, Knuchles is actually a bad guy for a little while.
that's not gonna happen?
Because, of course, Eggman has showed up to Angel Island, because that's where his base, the Death Egg, has landed. And he
Oh no.
tricks Knuckles because, you know, he's telling them that, like, oh, you know, he wants to be at peace, and Knuckles and Tails are coming to take the Master Emerald, which, you know, to be fair, for someone who's never seen probably another living person, that's a very fair assumption to make. Here, yeah, it's kind of dumb, but again, I don't think we can classify Knuckles as an idiot. He's gullible. I think he wants to believe the best in everyone, even Eggman. Well, saying that, he did accuse Sonic of taking the Master Emerald pieces. But yeah, again, I just don't like the stereotype. Oh, Knuckles, you idiot. To the point where, you know, he pretty much is an idiot, like in Sonic Boom. But then again, I do like Sonic Boom's version of Knuckles a lot. They do make that version very charming. But I know there was a death battle a few years ago. They did a video on Knuckles versus Donkey Kong. And as much as I used to like Death Battle, they've gotten kind of sickening, especially lately. But that was kind of the point where I stopped watching them, because they're great in the fact that they use every piece of medium for a character. But the problem I hate about them is that they'll use mediums that are technically different universes. So for their facts on Knuckles, they were using stuff from the Sonic Boom universe, which is a different, completely different story. I just think that's unfair, and especially for guys who are claiming to be comic book fans, like that's a huge issue for comic book fans. Like, don't mix alternate stories together, but or don't confuse them. But and they do that for Donkey Kong too. The joke was that they're supposed to be both strong idiots who also used to be rivals of their series main characters, but again, I could see Donkey Kong being kind of stupid. They got that from that TV show, that Donkey Kong TV show, where he was literally stupid. Also, Donkey Kong is also in a more cartoony universe. The reason for why Donkey Kong would win against Knuckles is the fact that in one of his games he punches the moon to the earth, and it's like, oh, if you calculate the moon's, you know, weight and stuff like that, and I just thought that was kind of dumb, because again, it's a cartoon. It's like you can only take it so seriously. I don't mind their death battles when the characters are using have some ground in reality, but sometimes I think they're stretched. They also did a Sonic versus Mario fight where Sonic won, but then they did another one and where Sonic lost, and there wasn't any real reason why Mario would win in that fight versus the other. I think at that point they're just making stuff up, or, you know, taking or drawing straws to figure out who wins. But anyways, that was a good rant. It got us through that really boring fight for the third time. Again, it's not a bad fight, but when you got to do it 3 times, that's terrible. But that's the only. I shouldn't say it's not the only fight that you have to do 3 times, but there is another example in this game. But luckily, it won't be quite as repetitive. But anyways, we beat up Chaos 4. So who was fighting Chaos 4? Because, you know, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all have segments they take rounds beating them up. Now that would be cool. If they did when they do a remake of this game, I don't know how they're going to do it. If they're going to keep the separate stories, or do it more like Sonic Adventure 2, where you just kind of switch characters around, which you'll see when we get there. But it would be cool in a remake if as you're fighting, you actually switch between the different characters, kind of like Knuckles running in place, kind of like Battle for Bikini Bottom, because every boss fight had 3 phases. The first phase was with SpongeBob. The second phase was with one of the optional characters, either Patrick or Sandy, and the last phase was with SpongeBob again. So anyways, I come here because this is where our next stage is going to be, but again, I know where all the upgrades are, so we gotta fly over here. Now we have to be careful, so we have to make sure we get enough height. Luckily, you can climb these walls for part of the way, sort of. I get a little bit of difficulty because unfortunately, yeah, I couldn't climb any higher, and then you can't glide. But luckily the trees are literal barriers, and you can walk on top of them. But anyways, here is the last upgrade, and I used it a grand total of once, maybe twice. It is basically a light attack version for Knuckles. You know how Sonic can charge up his spin attack and then hit an enemy, home in on them? It kind of works the same way, except you use the B button, which is Knuckles' punching button. It's something you don't need. But anyways, that's the end of the episode. So long, everyone.